Jennifer Lopez has just stunned the world by declaring that her divorce from Ben Affleck was, in her own words, the best thing that ever happened to me. To many fans, this sounded almost unthinkable. A painful breakup reframed as empowerment, heartbreak reimagined as freedom, and the end of Hollywood's most high-profile marriage transformed into a story of rebirth. But for Lopez, the journey was about more than losing a husband. It was about finding herself again. To understand why Lopez calls her split from Affleck a blessing, we need to rewind the clock back to the beginning of a love story that has captivated the world for over 20 years. Back to a time when the name Bennifer didn't just belong to a couple, but to an era of pop culture excess, paparazzi frenzy, and the relentless hunger of the public for a fairy tale romance. It all began in 2001 on the set of the movie J.Lo. Though the film would later become infamous as one of Hollywood's most notorious box office flops, it ignited a spark between Lopez, then at the height of her early 2000s fame, and Ben Affleck, fresh off his Oscar win for Good Will Hunting and his rise as one of Hollywood's leading men. Their chemistry was undeniable, and by 2002, they were officially a couple. From the moment they went public, the press couldn't get enough. Jennifer Lopez, known for her dazzling performances and groundbreaking career as a Latina superstar, and Ben Affleck, the Boston-bred actor with a mix of rugged charm and artistic credibility, became the most photographed couple in the world. They were featured on magazine covers, hounded by paparazzi at every step, and celebrated as the embodiment of early 2000s celebrity culture. By November 2002, Affleck had proposed with a now legendary 6.1-carat pink diamond ring, a jewel so extravagant it immediately became the centerpiece of tabloid headlines. The engagement was front-page news everywhere, and Jennifer Lopez herself described the proposal as spectacular. But with that ring came an avalanche of attention, so much so that the couple later admitted it played a role in tearing them apart. In 2003, as they planned their lavish wedding, the pressure reached unbearable levels. The couple called off their September wedding just days before it was set to happen, citing excessive media attention as the reason. By January 2004, Bennifer was officially over. For years, both Lopez and Affleck described the breakup as devastating. She later called it her first real heartbreak, while he admitted he had felt suffocated by the public spotlight. Their lives diverged sharply. Lopez went on to marry Mark Anthony later in 2004, building a family and further cementing her career as a singer and actress. Affleck, meanwhile, entered into a long relationship with Jennifer Garner, marrying her in 2005 and starting a family of his own. Both moved on publicly, but the shadow of Bennifer never fully disappeared. The tabloids never let go of the story. Articles speculated on what could have been, fan nostalgia grew, and the idea of Lopez and Affleck reuniting became kind of an impossible dream. Until, of course, it wasn't. Fast forward to 2021. In the wake of Lopez's breakup with Alex Rodriguez and Affleck's own separation from Ana de Armas, the two were spotted together again. At first, no one could believe it. Was this just a friendly reunion, or had Bennifer been resurrected from the ashes? When paparazzi photos emerged of them kissing and vacationing together, the internet erupted. Suddenly, 20 decades later, Bennifer was back. Older, wiser, and seemingly ready to reclaim what had once been stolen from them by fame and pressure. Their romance reignited like a fire that had never truly gone out. By July 2022, they were married, not once, but twice. First in a secret low-key ceremony in Las Vegas, and then in a grand celebration at Affleck's estate in Georgia. Fans called it the ultimate Hollywood love story, a second chance at happily ever after. Lopez herself gushed that love was patient and that true love could survive time, distance, and even heartbreak. But behind the glamour of the wedding and the fairy tale narrative, trouble was brewing. By 2023, cracks in their marriage began to appear. Reports surfaced of tension, of Lopez's high-energy lifestyle clashing with Affleck's more reserved personality, of differing visions for their blended family, and of struggles under constant media scrutiny. While they worked together professionally, Affleck's production company even helped finance Lopez's passion project, a musical film adaptation of Kiss the Spider Woman. The personal strains were undeniable. By August 2024, Lopez filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. The news shocked fans who had invested emotionally in their reunion. This was not just any couple's breakup. This was the end of the love story that had once defined an era. By early 2025, their divorce was finalized, amicable, but final. They avoided messy court battles, agreed on financials, and went their separate ways. And this brings us back to Lopez's recent revelation that the divorce was, in fact, the best thing that ever happened to her. To many, this was shocking. How could the collapse of a marriage she once described as her dream be something she now framed as a blessing? But Lopez explained that the pain forced her into growth. It pushed her to confront herself, to rebuild her identity outside of a marriage, and to rediscover her joy. During the difficult months of the split, she was filming Kiss the Spider-Woman. The role became both a challenge and a sanctuary. On set, she said she felt alive, fulfilled, and deeply happy, even as her personal life unraveled. The contrast between the chaos at home and the joy at work gave her perspective. She called it a turning point, a reminder that her artistry and her resilience could carry her through anything. Lopez described herself now as a different person than she was last year, stronger, freer, and more self-aware. She admitted that her first summer after the divorce was one of the happiest of her life, a summer of fun, discovery, and gratitude. Instead of being crushed by the breakup, she emerged empowered. Public reaction has been mixed, with many fans praising her for reframing pain into empowerment, while others question whether she was masking hurt with optimism. But one thing is certain, Lopez has once again proven that she knows how to control her narrative. For Affleck, the story is quieter. He has downplayed drama, insisting that their split is more ordinary than the tabloids make it seem. He remains supportive of her career, having played a role in bringing her latest project to life, and is said to be moving forward in his own way. The house they once shared, a sprawling Beverly Hills estate, became a symbol of their split. Listed, discounted, and now hanging in limbo as a reminder of the life they tried to build together. But for Lopez, material things no longer define the chapter. What defines it is growth, independence, and the ability to find joy in the aftermath of heartbreak. This is not the story of failure, it's the story of transformation. Jennifer Lopez may have lost her marriage, but she gained something she now considers more valuable: clarity, strength, and freedom. She's not mourning the end of Bennifer 2.0, she's celebrating the beginning of Jennifer Lopez, reinvented once again. And as she continues to dominate the entertainment industry from music to movies to business, one thing is certain: Jennifer Lopez has turned her pain into power. And in her words, the best thing that happened was not keeping her marriage, but learning who she could be without it. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this.